All right. Well, welcome to Protocol Engineering Office Hours, the show where if you don't ask questions, we will talk about horticulture. This is Rick, joined by JCV, Marco, Joshua, and of course our co-founder Max Sanchez. Uh, this isn't my show, so and engineers, to talk amongst yourselves until someone asks a question, and then we can, you know, deal with that. Max, you're muted. You're lovely, but you're muted.
Dang it. Okay. We almost did a good intro. Cool. Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining us for this week's office hours. As we mentioned during midweek yesterday, we have the final submissions due for the Hemi Arcade tomorrow. So if anyone has any questions about gaming, last minute game architecture, game mechanics, any question about the competition itself, we're here to answer those, as well as any other general building on Hemi questions. And I think if people don't ask questions, we will probably get into either a BIP 110 discussion or see how John's lawn care situation is going.
My cucamelon is not doing well, so.
Oh no.
All right. Well, people are just filtering in. We got we got 56 more minutes of this, so I don't know. I saw Obsession. The movie was awesome. I don't know if anyone's seen that, but highly recommend it. One of
That's
the
when
best
I got
movies I've
confused
seen.
with Odyssey, right?
That was Backrooms.
Oh.
But you confused Backrooms with Obsession and then confused that with The Odyssey. So it was like the inception of confusion.
And I'm glad you're keeping track. I thought it was just the two.
No, 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 no. I'm all over this.
I've not seen Obsession yet, but I plan on it.
It's
Backrooms was the last thing.
absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
So is Backrooms the one that was made by the YouTubers?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now I got this straight. Thank you. Also, another discussion topic, if people are interested, if you have any ideas for the CTF that we're working on, any recommendations, things you'd like to see as either challenges or mechanics for the overall CTF process, any of that feedback is also welcome. And if you have potential ideas, happy to discuss those from a technical perspective as well.
It's very quiet in here. We need to talk about BIP 110.
Let's do it.
Yes. Yep. Have at it. This will actually force people to start asking questions.
It's starting to feel like a little bit of BIP 110 angst going on here.
Want to kick us off, Marco?
Say it again?
You want to kick us off with BIP 110?
Sure. I was.
Wait. Sorry. I'm sorry. Before we get into BIP 110, we actually have a question.
Oh,
okay. Let me help you.
I apologize. Are we allowed to submit pre-existing games like Brotown to the competition?
I think the rules are it needs to be at least something new that wasn't public before. But John or Josh, you can correct me if that's not correct.
I don't remember what we wrote in the rules. Joshua, do you remember?
I think it has to be something that wasn't already like something that you made 5 months ago that you can't submit that. But if it's something that hasn't been publicly released yet, I think that's fine.
All right. Here's one. Holy shit, we have a second question already. All right. Does free to play mean players must not pay blockchain gas fees, or is gas an exception?
No, gas is fine. You just can't require the user to pay your protocol something. Yeah, we probably should have clarified that in the rules, but
Yeah,
paying fees is fine.
That's very much what we meant by it, even if we didn't phrase it properly to make that clear.
If you want to do something that's truly fee-less, you could do something with, like users submit something that's going to be executed on chain with a signature, and then you have like a relayer server, but that's not at all required as a game mechanic.
And those were the questions that I had on deck, so please get into block 110. Sorry about that. Oh shit, hold on. Sorry.
Wait,
Another one
it's
just came in.
BIP. Rick, it's BIP
Uh,
110, not block 110.
At 110, sorry. Well, this is why you guys need to discuss it, but unfortunately another question just came in, so I don't make the rules here. Can games be entirely AI generated?
Yeah. However you make the game is totally up to you, as long as it doesn't violate any rules of the competition or any laws in the US or your local country.
I think we made a rule that it should be assisted versus entirely generated.
I think defining that's pretty difficult, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
obviously, like, look, if AI is helping you write something, that's totally fine. But if you just say AI make me a game, and it makes you a game, we're gonna judge that a lot harsher than if it looks like you were a person using AI to make the game rather than just being a lazy fuck and saying AI just come up with an idea for me. Use AI, use it as an assistant, whatever. But no, there have some actual humanity in it, and that will be judged kinder than something that is clearly, a machine making a game for a machine.
and also if it's just a
Sorry, Dick.
that, like, human creative aspect to it, it's probably going to be pretty obvious that it was just an AI. Like, the game quality is going to be low anyway because of that. So
yeah, and I mean, look, there's not a lot of time, so it's not like where you weren't given a ton of time. We're not expecting you to have hand-drawn sprites or anything. Yeah, you're gonna, most people here will have used AI to generate their art, which normally AI-generated art is not art. Fucking fight me on that, people. But for something like this, of course you're going to do that. And of course you're going to have AI assisting with the programming and any of that. That's fine. That's cool. That's what we expect. But if there's no human element in it, it's going to show and it's going to be judged as such.
Yeah, and the official rules are there's 8 rules currently. I'm just reading through them. So we did decide the entries must be original games created for this contest. But that's just defined as submitting something that didn't pre-exist and wasn't previously published. So I think something you started on beforehand, haven't published, is fine. And there's no rules against AI use either. And we will be updating those rules later today because we're going to allow up to 2 submissions per person instead of just 1. And I'll clarify the gas fees as well, just so that's clear.
We should totally do that sooner than later because the contest closes tomorrow.
it's kind of soon.
It's a little soon. Like, actually,
There is
soon, not like
That is literally Ultramax soon.
Yeah, that's the definition.
Hey, finally something happens on time. uh,
Please grant extra time to submit the game. Yeah, I don't know.
No,
Not for
I don't.
this one, because everyone else has been working with this deadline. But if you're still working and you don't have something that you want to submit, I'm sure we'll do a version of this in the future.
We will
May have,
definitely do another of
Yeah,
these.
this assuming tomorrow is fun, we'll do this again. So if you're not ready, don't assume that this is the end. Think of this as the beginning. But at the same time, we scheduled things, and other people are working under limits. So yeah, we can't reasonably, whether we want to or not, we can't go and change that part of that one thing, unfortunately. But there'll be other chances. I think this seems really good, so I like this. So would be very happy for us to do a part two, maybe. Oh, actually, yeah. You know what? If people after tomorrow, don't make suggestions today. After tomorrow, after we've done the whole thing, if you have suggestions for a way we could do this better, we'd love to hear it, because people building stuff on the chain is more than anything what we want. So if there's things that would make this more compelling, things that would make this more fun, let us know. Because we'd love to hear it. I do see a
Games
question.
making. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
This is a good one. Can we pop this on screen?
Yes, please.
Are games making fun of Hemi or the team allowed? I'd say yes.
in general, yes, but if it's mean spirited, it's probably not going to win.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, obviously, I think it's clear we are all willing to here laugh at ourselves, and that's okay. But
Yeah,
yeah,
if it's something like some joke around Ultra Max soon or whatever, that's funny. But it's use judgment or it will be judged.
Yeah, like if there's a game called Rick is a dipshit, I'm probably not going to vote for you. You know what I mean? So like,
Depends how good the game
you,
is.
yeah, like I mean, if it's really good, then maybe I'll still vote for it, even though. But no, yeah, no, yeah, do it. Yeah, make fun of us. Just don't be a dick. I guess is the best way to say that.
which is generally good advice, for most things. Just try not to be a dick about it, and it's probably okay.
Right? Yeah. Question, Dodger. We didn't dodge your. We literally just answered your question. What the hell?
Yeah, I think that was like the
Gold.
maximum amount of answering possible for that question.
Yeah, that was a lot of answers, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, they're
I
saying
hope
that's
you
the
all
joke they
play
want to make in
chess.
the game.
Yes.
Oh, well, I'm an idiot. Oh, yeah, question dodger? Yeah, make that. That sounds hilarious. I can think of at least one person who's probably not going to vote for that game.
I'm not going to answer your bait there, Rick.
No. I'm not asking you to take the bait.
Proof of patience. That's funny.
That's hilarious. I think someone's making a chess game. That sounds awesome.
Oh, that'd be cool. I know how to play chess, but I would not call myself a chess player.
Oh yeah, someone's making a soon game. I get it. All right. It would be funny if you went to load the game and it just said coming soon.
And credits.
You just roll end credits.
But don't give them ideas.
Oh man.
What is Alpha? What the hell do you want? Who has seen From? I don't even know what From is. Does anyone know what From is?
You're asking the wrong guy. I have no idea.
Right, yeah, right. Oh no. Hey, Josh. Um, I'm making a
We
chess game for the community. Did you see that?
Yeah, we're looking into that. We're not sure why that happened, but I'll contact you on Discord.
I don't know if I want my Elo tracked on chain. Give me like 900.
Horror
guess-
thriller web series. I'll check that out.
I'm
Alpha.
assuming ELO is not Electric Light Orchestra, right?
Not in this context.
Okay.
What is it?
It's a rating system for chess, so I don't know the mechanics of how it works. I haven't looked into it, but it's basically you win chess games against people with higher ELO scores. Your ELO goes up, theirs goes down. And then the top players are, 32, 34, 3600. Average players are, I think, like 1250. I'm probably below that.
Oh shit. Okay.
Also, Chess Blenders, I like your profile picture. That's it's the chess.com blender symbol.
All right.
Yeah, we can play a game of chess. You will probably win.
If there are any multiplayer games submitted, we could actually play against each other or play against audience members while
Oh yeah,
during the stream if we want.
yeah, let's do it.
All right. So it seems like, hold on. Let's look. There's 3 games up, but it sounds like there's 2 to 3 more coming. And then someone else mentioned one, and if Brotown qualifies, oh shit. Yeah, we might be playing a lot of games tomorrow. That's awesome. And drinking. Let's
I
not forget
figured
that.
out the reason the person was banned for submitting their game. A bot that we use that detects phishing links detected pages.dev, which is commonly used for serving malicious pages, and banned you because of that link. I've just excluded the game contest channel, so you can post that again, please. And if you run into any issues, ping us or the mods.
Perfect. Yeah, so please resubmit your game.
Also appears Discord's auto mod picked that up as phishing as well. So if you have any more issues, I can try and prevent them from doing that. It's weird.
All right, so bit 110, I guess. Oh no, hold on.
We lost Marco, unfortunately.
Ah, shit. When will the Pop V2 be deployed on mainnet? Please don't say soon.
Don't have an exact date. We're heavily focused on all of this ZK stuff, but it is code complete. So once we finish some current infrastructure upgrades, we should do it at that point. But in not saying soon, I will say in the near future. But it is code complete. It just needs to get merged in, and there's some deployment stuff blocking that for our hardening release.
An excellent workaround, by the way.
I don't think it worked.
Thoughts on AI data poisoning?
I haven't looked too much into this. It is interesting. So my understanding is the idea is basically putting out bad data on the internet intentionally so that future AI models that are trained on it, it basically attacks the AI model. It gives it bad training data, so it starts outputting garbage because AI is one of those garbage in, garbage out systems. If you train it on bad data, you get a bad model. So it's interesting. I don't know what the whole context is of how people are planning to do it. I've not deep dived into the sort of social movement around it, so I can't comment on that. But from a technical perspective, if you can get, I think it's going to be a arms race of, the existing models are already pretty robust, and especially for the frontier closed source models, it's hard to, like, if you were going to try to poison data for a public model, you could run the model yourself locally against the, like, for example, you could do fine tuning with the poison data and see if it actually ends up doing bad stuff for the model. More specifically, I think my guess is the frontier model labs are doing a lot of AI-based filtering of training data. So, ask a current high-quality model if new data may be poisoned. And so I think it's going to be sort of an arms race of them using AI to analyze new training data and see if it may be malicious, and then maybe flag it for human review, and then people finding ways to get around that. But since frontier model, the way that they source data, the way that they vet it is obviously not public. It's kind of shooting in the dark, trying to put out poison data that you hope they'll grab. So I don't know. It's I should look more into it. I can't speak with anything really beyond that, but I think it's going to be a data harvesting and analysis arms race between a closed source data analysis system and then people kind of poking in the dark, seeing what ways of poisoning data seem to work and trying to figure out if maybe their poison data got into a model, if they can produce certain outputs from that model that would imply that it trained on their data. Another interesting one, recent development in AI is at least Claude's doing this, and probably the other major labs are going to start doing this. They are watermarking the outputs of their models, and they say it's to comply with, I'm not sure if it's EU regulations or maybe it's voluntary compliance with EU regulatory suggestion or something like that. I don't know the exact legal structure of it, but basically they are doing things to the outputs of the AI that they are claiming does not affect the quality of the output. I think that's TBD, but it's sort of an invisible watermark. So it might be some, statistical likelihood to use certain words in a certain pattern or something like that. So it's not like the old days of, a service like putting a hidden pixel in an image or something like that. It's much more robust in that it's actually, I think they use the word woven. It's like woven into the prose that AI writes for you, so that, again, the narrative around it is that people can use that, or governments can use it, or whoever, to determine if something was AI generated, and if so, what model may have been responsible for it. So the argument would be, if you have all these, security parameters and systems that should be applied, and then they find AI generated output that violates what those rules should have prevented, and then they can trace it back to, oh, that was Anthropic's Opus 5.1 or whatever, then there's some accountability there. That's the narrative. I think in reality, maybe I'm being a little too pessimistic, but my guess is that's going to be used as a way for frontier labs to go after anyone else who trains on data that was created by their AI, which in the sense of like the Chinese, distillation, I understand why they're doing it. But the danger is tons of AI content goes into the web. I, as somebody maybe training AI, my own AI model from scratch with the data set that I got fair and square from the internet, I'm not going to be able to potentially know if I'm using data that was Claude generated. And also, we're talking about the companies that went and stole everyone else's IP, and now they're trying to protect the output of their statistical model that stole everyone else's IP so that nobody else can steal their IP of other people's IP. And so it's, yeah.
I'd also argue that I tend to think this is more one of those where they're saying they're doing it so they can say they're doing it. That way they can say, oh, look, this must have been our thing. Because ultimately, deep down, if there's one thing that we should have learned over decades of tech, is watermarks are either visible or removable. And it's only the only way for it to be not really removable is if it literally takes away shit from what's there. So like if your watermark on an image means that there's chunks of the image that just don't exist anymore, then yeah, you can't really remove that unless you can, although these days you'd be able to interpolate and put things in there. But I just do not believe any claim that says, oh yeah, we can put this invisible pattern in your text that will survive you copying and pasting and doing something to the text. So unless they're trying to do some stenographic thing where they're going to hide a hidden message that says, Claude Sonnet 4.8 was here, which won't survive me, which there's a whole lot of things I can do to the text where it won't survive. I don't believe it. I don't believe that they can do what they're saying. And it's more a case of this way, they're going to overstate what they can do because that's just the benefit to them. This way they can always say, oh no, we really can prove that was ours, even though, can they? Meh, probably not. But
And then if a regulator comes to them and says, hey, was this, thing that we deemed non-compliant generated by you?
no,
They
of
can run it
course
through
not.
their thing and say, nope,
Nope.
looks like it wasn't us.
Yeah, I don't.
So
Like, I think maybe ChatGPT did it. Go ask them.
yeah. But if they do have a version of that somewhat works, like I could definitely see there being some, very slight thumb on the scale statistical weighting for the use of certain common phrases or words in a certain order that, maybe one model tends to phrase things this way, another model tends to phrase them this way. You can do statistical analysis. Are you going to be able to tell that 8-word sentence was written by the model? Probably not. But if somebody wrote a 300-page book, could you, and just didn't, try to edit it significantly, because obviously any edits are going to be potentially destroying that statistical information. But, could they realistically put some bias in the model that produces outputs that with a large enough corpus could be statistically differentiated? Maybe. The extent to which it works. I think short answer is yes, you can do that. Will it work, and will it not be obvious when people not very quickly figure out ways to get around it, remove that watermark? I would be surprised.
Yes, because as soon as I totally agree that they could, if you have a reasonable size body of text, you could come out, make things so that statistically you can tell this text came from me.
And you could even do that without watermarking intentionally. Like you could just take an AI model and say, okay, it generated this paragraph. What's the next word it's going to generate?
Right.
Statistically, it's probably going to be this word. Hey, look, that's the next word in this text that we're analyzing. That's interesting,
But as soon as so let's say you do that, right? They come up with a, some statistical model that says this text was written by my other statistical model, because that's what an LLM is. It's this, big ugly statistical model. As soon as they use that, so the first time you have to, demonstrate this text came from this model, I now know what you're looking for statistically, and it wouldn't be hard to have another LLM go and scramble that. So it'd probably work really well once, but does it work the second time?
Yep. And how to your point is scrambling with the second model. If you just have a local non-poison model and you say, reword this text and does it have the same meaning? And then you can even go back to the original model, paste in the new text you generated and say, did this preserve the original meaning of the text you just gave me? I rewrote it or something. And it can say yes, and it's not going to be able to,
and
its response to you affirming it's not going to put a watermark in the new content.
And
obviously.
Guess who has a tremendous amount of experience doing this kind of work? Spammers.
Yep.
Think about all the spam that has been written in ways to do things to make it look like the same text to you, but not to Spam Assassin or whatever the modern and grossly broken spam filters Google uses. There's a huge body of work on, tricking statistical models about text. And yeah, most of it, some of it is lame, like just replacing characters with the Unicode similar ones, but there are less stupid versions of it too.
If my email inbox is any indication, they are still succeeding even in the age of AI.
Yeah, well, I mean, Gmail's spam filter is worse than Spam Assassin. Like Spam Assassin, at least, kind of sort of worked. Google's is, I'm pretty sure it's a fucking random number generator at this point.
And sometimes it flags perfectly legitimate stuff. Like we even, I forgot the exact context. It was a long time ago, but there was somebody within our company, like with an account in our system under the same organization, who sent me an email and it went to spam.
Well, we also had a problem where calendar invites from people.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the calendar problem? That was great.
And meanwhile, the guy who's like, I make you app, you want app? He gets through.
Yep, that's all good. Maybe you want app.
How would Google know?
Here's a good one that I feel like we're all going to have very strong opinions on. I certainly do. What do you think of Anthropic, OpenAI, and XAI buying books in mass, cutting, scanning, and destroying them? Anthropic is so immoral, I don't want to use them. I fucking hate it, and I think it's one of the worst fucking things I've ever heard in my goddamn life. And yeah, no one should support that, and people should be up in arms about burning books in general, and
Tell us
all
how you really
physical
feel,
media
Rick.
for that. That is exactly how I really feel. But Max, I tell you what, if you think that was good, I can't wait to hear what John has to say about this.
No, I'm with you on there. Like, I feel destroying books and that. So look, I understand, and so digitizing books isn't a good thing, but fucking wholesale destruction of things, books and musical instruments are two places where it feels really fucking icky to just fucking, wholesale destruction. Like, not a fan of that for either item. I like
the
books.
crazy thing is, and maybe this was intentional, I don't know, but like this was such an avoidable PR problem. Like you could have just resold the books, or like there's I mean, maybe to feed them into the machines, it's easier to chop off the spines. I don't know the details, but it seems like this was the kind of thing, like it's easily avoidable and it pisses everyone off. It's like what.
And predictably pisses people off. Like you can figure out that, like, it doesn't take a marketing genius to be like, wait, you know what? People might not think that's cool.
If you have one meeting and you're like, hey, everyone's kind of on edge about us, stealing their jobs and maybe having like AI that can run away and become autonomous and destroy the world. Do you think people would be upset if we just bought like a ton of books and then scanned them in, use that to train our AI, and then burnt them in a fire? That would be fine, right? Like one meeting would, it's not, as John said, it doesn't take a marketing genius to figure that one out.
An email or a text could have solved that.
Yes. Yeah, I got a radical idea. Let me run this by you.
Right. Like, when was the last time burning books worked out for anyone?
Maybe Maybe they should have asked Claude if it was a good idea.
I feel like doing that right now.
I believe there was actually a leaked document from Anthropic that actually I can't remember the exact details, so look it up to trust it, but they actually wanted to intentionally destroy the books and agreed to destroy them so that no other company could use the same books for training data.
Okay, that makes it even
So it was
10 times
intentional.
worse. So it wasn't just it's easier to scan in pages if we cut off the spine. It was this is how we keep our competition from training their models on these precious resources.
Yeah, they went full World War II on that one, like in the worst way possible.
And not on the right side.
Not on the good guys team either. Holy shit! So that's
Yeah,
a
they
bold
even
move.
they even gave this a code name of Project Panama with the description of an effort to destructively scan all the books in the world.
Oh god.
Oh my god!
Every word that sounds worse.
Does anyone want to comment on how useless AI safety rails are, especially now that we have K3 as a open weights model?
I wanted to go back to why it's called Project Panama. I'm guessing it's not that they're big Van Halen fans.
It's either
No, it doesn't. Panama has some significance to it associated with the end of World War II, if you catch my drift, as well, doesn't it? Like,
I believe it
are they,
does, Rick.
Why yes.
are they fucking serious?
No, they're just really big David Lee Roth era Van Halen fans.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's well, shit.
It's like, are you trying to look like a supervillain? Because this is how you do it.
This is the playbook of how to be
This is the
an
playbook.
actual Bond villain. Yeah.
Well, it's like the fucking boss of FIFA who looks like he stepped out straight out of a James Bond movie.
Oh yeah.
I don't know the context for this at all, but I guess there's a lot of accusations of, is it FIFA or the World Cup or whatever organization, probably both, I don't know, accepting bribes for where they place the games and stuff. So there was a funny clip of, I think it was a soccer game, some guy like waving a $1 bill in front of the ref while he was trying to make a call.
Oh, that's great.
I did a bad job of explaining why it's funny, but
it's still funny. It checks out.
And in the settlement for the lawsuit that this was released in, the judge ruled that destruction and digitization of legally purchased books constitutes fair use because they're destroying the copy and therefore digitizing it first is legal.
That's a interesting take.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think from like a perspective of like IP licensing, you know, if you buy, say, a DVD, you know, not that anyone does physical media anymore, but, you know, if you bought a DVD, you have the right to back it up for the same use as you originally licensed for the DVD. So from that precedent, I can see the legal argument. Whether I agree with it as far as the end result of what Anthropic's doing with that, different story, but I can see the legal precedent potentially for that.
What confuses me about this whole thing is, so all right, so they have a book, they feed it to the machine, they destroy it, so their competition can't get it. What's stopping their competition from also going on Amazon and buying the book?
I think these are like rare books.
Yes, they're not
It's not like Harry Potter. I burned a copy of Harry Potter.
Right,
No one else is
okay.
going to figure this one out.
Like, okay, there's a dozen
So
others.
this is like the Dead Sea Scrolls and shit.
Yeah,
Maybe not those, but essentially.
yeah.
Okay. All right, so
Maybe those are
this
next.
is even
Who
worse
knows?
than so this is even worse than I thought. In
Yes.
that
Yeah, it's not
case.
just them going to Barnes and Noble and being like, "I'll take a copy of
Right.
everything."
Yeah, it's like I'm going to train this on all those Dan Brown books. That's fine if you really want. I'd recommend against
I
it.
think they got the rest of them through their other things that they've been sued for involving piracy, so that they already have the rest of the books.
Well, that's terrifying.
What a world!
This has been a very uplifting meeting. Thanks, guys. Jesus. Someone else ask a game question for Christ's sakes. Damn it. Before we keep going down this. Are there any genres of games the team likes the most?
I mean, I'm gonna try to be unbiased in judging for just cool mechanics, cool on-chain stuff, but probably personally, maybe either like puzzle games or I don't know. Someone else have a better answer?
I think puzzle games and platformers are both very fun.
Platformers are cool, yeah.
Yeah, I tend to lean towards those, but I like all sorts.
Oh, RPG, yeah, RPGs are cool. I played a lot of Skyrim a decade ago. Was that a decade ago? I think that was.
Oh yeah. Skyrim's way back. I loved Skyrim. I can't wait for the new Elder Scrolls if it ever happens.
Skyrim was 2011.
Holy shit.
Oh, I feel old.
Yeah, I feel really old.
I don't know. 2011 is only a year before I started working in Bitcoin, so that doesn't seem as long ago anymore, which is equally terrifying.
Doesn't working that long in Bitcoin feel like 3 times as long as it really was, though?
Oh my God, seriously, dog years.
Especially if you're subscribed to the Bitcoin mailing list.
We age in dog years.
Yeah, RPGs are cool. And RPGs are, in general, could be a really good fit for on-chain gaming because you have, resources and in-game economy, scarcity, you need fair randomness for, monsters you fight or whatever for like loot drops. And you don't want a player to be able to manipulate those and gain an unfair advantage. So I think RPGs are cool and also done right, a really good on-chain fit. Somebody should do on-chain RuneScape.
Oh, that would be so sick.
Can
Or
relive
like
my
on-chain,
glory days of middle school.
Hell yeah, or like Eyes of the Beholder or something like that.
Never
Oh,
played that
Baldur's
one.
Gate 2. Did you ever play Baldur's Gate 2?
I don't think so. I think I may have
Baldur's Gate
like
2. So good.
maybe played an hour or something, but the thing is those games
still
take so
holds
much
up.
investment. It's like once you
Yeah, they
know
do.
the mechanics of one, you're like, I'm never playing anything else. And then you get bored of that one, and you're like, I'm just never playing them again, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I'm just done.
I'm not gonna go learn. I mean, I obviously now, but even back 10 years ago when I had like free time in college or whatever, like I'm not gonna go learn a brand new mechanic system for some game that might be fun once I figure out how to play it after 100 hours. I'm good.
I think there's another question from Alpha, Rick.
Oh, can we have a book review on the off-topic channel?
Yeah, if you want to spearhead it, go for it.
Yeah, it's the off-topic channel. You can do whatever the hell you want there, as long as you follow the rules. Review books, movies, write poetry, do slam poetry, do whatever the hell you want.
Do we have to snap?
Yeah.
I think he had another question before that I was talking about.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, gee. Okay. In anime called Psycho-Pass, society is controlled by an AI called Sybil that evaluates and judges every citizen. Do you think we're slowly moving towards a future like that?
Another uplifting one for you, Rick.
Um, I mean, probably. To be perfectly honest, I think probably we are, unless you know, people start realizing that Sarah Connor was the good guy in Terminator 2 and not the villain. It's really weird nowadays. That's the most I'll say on the subject. So yeah, let's turn it over to Max and team.
I think at least to some aspect, like you mentioned, judges every citizen. I think that's already well in full swing with the government surveillance and mass data harvesting and AI analysis of that. I mean, you have between things like social scores and that's the stuff they tell you about. God knows what's going on behind closed doors in pretty much every country. So I'd say maybe a light version of it, but at least to some extent, I think we're already kind of there.
I think that there's always the failure mode for those that what we end up with is entirely more chaotic than like those particular dystopias. And I love like, Terminator 2 is probably the best movie ever, or, top couple. I don't think we ever end up with such a as clean a dystopia as any of those suggest. We always end up with, many different entities with different just different desires and different goals. So I think we should, obviously we should all be concerned about too much surveillance, too much data harvesting, all that. But at the same time, those organized dystopias, I don't think they ever actually happen because people and our artifacts, and I will put AI as one of our artifacts, tend to be messier and chaotic than the ones we imagine in our fictional dystopias.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, we got 10 minutes left. If anyone has any further questions, reminder, the Hemi Arcade Gaming Contest does close tomorrow, and we will be having our live happy hour playing the games at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then you can also catch us next Tuesday at 11 a.m. for midnight with Max. That sounded sleazy. Midweek with Max is what I meant to say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not
let's
on
keep it
board
during the
with that.
day.
I'm going to sit
Yeah,
that one out.
let's keep it during business hours.
The CTF, that might be like midnight we might pull some weird hours there, but
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, the CTF, it'll probably be, Max and Rick don't sleep for 3 days, and
every day
we
is
might
just a
stream some of it.
descent deeper into chaos and
Yeah, more panda costumes.
why is Rick wearing 3 panda costumes? Don't ask. You don't want to know.
Just shut up. It's fine. Just
Just
trust
we'll
the
go with
process.
it. Panda costumes. Yeah, so we're a little bit of context.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
We're planning a CTF, so on-chain stuff like smart contract exploiting, figuring out ways to exploit like a under-constrained zkVM application, or an application built on a zkVM itself that has a soundness issue, like a missing constraint on a opcode, things like that. CTF, so capture the flag. It's basically like there's a lot of different formats for them, but the most common format is sort of like it's a cybersecurity competition, and then people are competing either alone or in teams to complete different challenges of different difficulties and different categories. So kind of like Jeopardy, you have the categories might be something like the ones we have so far for stuff that we're working on is on-chain smart contract exploitation, ZKVM application exploiting, ZKVM proving exploiting. We have a miscellaneous category for some stuff that's maybe like a one-off cryptography thing, like not say reusing a seed and creating signatures for a certain signature algorithm, things like that. And so the version that we're building is all on-chain, so it's all verifiable. You submit proofs that you completed each challenge on-chain, either for like a smart contract, actually exploiting the contract on-chain, which has a way that it can be detected on-chain and award you the points, or for other stuff that's semi-offline, like say recovering the private key for a signature that's leaked with nonce reuse or something like that. You produce a valid signature with that private key that you recovered, and that can be validated on-chain. So it's a on-chain validated crypto and blockchain focused cybersecurity competition with a couple different categories, challenges in each category of varying difficulty, and then some small like Hemi token prizes for the people who perform the best in it. And then we're going to do we're still figuring out the exact details, but it's roughly going to run over a weekend, whether that's maybe like Friday night to Sunday midday or whatever makes sense, still TBD. But we're going to do a live stream for part of it. So we can, if everyone is having trouble with a particular challenge, we can maybe give a hint for it. We can talk about challenges that a lot of people solved and maybe towards the end work some of the simpler ones for people who are interested. But anyway, as part of that, one of the ideas, it's themed around Florida Panda, which is kind of the mascot of the CTF, who's like just this totally chaotic panda who happens to live in Florida, and everything else is like Florida and swamp themed. And so the joke was we might get a panda costume for Rick. So the CTF, at least this one, someone asked if we can extend it for a week. This one, we're going to keep it to something around 48 hours because we want to see how that format works, and we want to be able to be around and active during it. If it works out and people enjoy it, we may do a longer version. So maybe the next one could stretch over a week. And the other thing is not all of the challenges, but a lot of them are things that people could do after the fact. So even though you wouldn't be able to compete in the actual competition, you could be able to, if you wanted to complete some of the challenges just for your own fun and learning after the fact, a lot of them would still be available to do whenever people want post CTF. So this one's going to be weekend, but again, if the format works out and we think we could extend it to a week and it'd still be interesting and engaging, and we get a good turnout for this one, then that's certainly a possibility for future competitions. And we might, maybe we could do something like it runs from, midday on a Friday or something. There might be a way to give a little bit of overlap with the week, but it's going to be mostly centered around a weekend, which is when, we have spare personal time that we can use to be on the live stream and help out and make sure the CTF runs correctly. If there's any moderation needed in like discussion channels around the CTF, things like that. We can't just pause everything we're doing at Hemi for a week, unfortunately. Rick must sell the panda costume on the merch store after. Oh, we could do an exclusive one of one. Yeah, like the winner gets the panda costume or something.
Oh shit, we could auction off the the panda costume. Not auction off, but yeah, winning team gets the panda costume.
So the winner gets a used panda costume that Rick wore previously.
Prizes include a used panda costume, a gift card for $10 to Papa John's that may still have money on it, and this ball of lint.
Yeah, and like one of JCV's socks.
He lost the other one. We were going to do it as a pair.
Exactly. You just get one. That's it. No, there definitely will be merch. There will be CTF merch.
Alex Alpha asks, where did I just lose it? Yeah, quantum computing threat for Bitcoin. So the quantum computing threat in isolation is legitimate. Like, quantum computers are physically possible. People are building them. In my, and I think the rest of this team's opinion, maybe even more so than myself, they're way farther off than people think to be of the size and quality that you need to, qualities and, the ability to actually do stuff on them reliably, not, once in some random coincidence blue moon that might as well be a brute force attack, to actually compromise current cryptography used by Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I'm glad the space is preparing now for it, because I do think sooner or later quantum computers big enough will come and will be used. And the sooner we get ahead of it, the blockchain industry moves really quick when it comes to new ideas, those getting launched to market, battle tested with real money in a real world environment, stress testing, seeing where stuff falls apart, somebody else making a competitor that's better and learning from that. So the iteration in blockchain is really fast, but the movement or deprecation of old things in favor of more secure approaches, things like that take a long time. And so I think it makes sense that the space is focusing on it and getting ahead of it, but it's not the kind of thing I'm worried about in the next at least couple of years, us waking up to a sudden quantum attack on Bitcoin or anything like that. Marco would probably say the next 30 years. I would say at least the next few, quite possibly a lot longer. And John, maybe you're somewhere in the middle. I don't.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm right in the middle, if not. Yeah.
A lot of and this is slightly outdated information. I haven't done a deep dive on the current state of quantum computing in, I don't know, probably half a year. But as where it was as of late last year was basically, we have specific designs for quantum computers that can do certain things surprisingly well, like some of the machines from D-Wave for, say, I think it's quantum annealing, if I remember correctly, which can solve certain types of problems that's interesting and useful commercially, but it's not an exploit. That sort of architecture cannot be used to do something like Shor's algorithm to exploit modern cryptography. It's solving a different limited set of problems. For the general quantum computer, we see that there are people have made general quantum computers that work for very small problems, but they are nowhere near what the marketing would have you believe. And one of the other things is there's a huge difference between physical qubits. So everyone measures a quantum computer's ability to solve problems by the number of qubits that it has. And there's more intricacies beyond that. There's, the amount of, well, this kind of gets into it. So one of the problems is you have a difference between what's called logical and physical qubits. And so physical qubits are actually, entangled qubits on a chip that work. But logical qubits are a bunch of those working together as effectively, I'm going to butcher this a little bit, but as effectively one qubit, because you need error correction. And so with normal computing, error correction is, depending on what you're doing, but in memory, it's a 10, 20% haircut because you're adding a couple extra bits to things as a checksum, right? You may be doing a two-dimensional grid of the data you want to checksum, and then you have each row and column as a check bit, right? And so depending on how you format it, you have some overhead, but it's, in the couple percent to 10, 15%-ish range, depending on your structure. With quantum computing, the way, and not an expert at all, but my understanding is the way that the error correction works, you basically you need a large number of physical qubits to give you one effective logical qubit that you can actually use in an algorithm. And so when we talk about, Shor's algorithm right now requires 2,700 qubits to break, this signature algorithm of, this number of bits of security or whatever. They're talking about logical qubits that you can actually, that the algorithm, is placed on and run on, not the physical qubits that are used to build and provide the error correcting that you need for the logical qubits. And I think, and again, this may have changed recently, but I think two things. I think one, for relatively large quantum systems, the current ratio of physical to logical was something like 90-1, meaning you could have a 1,000-qubit machine, or make math easy, a 900-qubit machine that's really 10 logical qubits that you could use. As in, if you wanted to implement, Shor's algorithm, you would need the number of qubits Shor's requires for the specific algorithm, or the discrete log version of Shor's, times 90 as far as actual qubits on a chip working in that quantum computer. And the other thing is, it's not a linear relationship of, no matter the size of the quantum computer, it's always 90-1, or maybe 80-1 because we made some improvements. The number of qubits you need the number of physical you need per logical also grows with the number of total logical qubits in the system. And so it may be something like, for 10 logical qubits, you need 900 physical, but for 20 logical qubits, maybe you need 2,000, not 1,800 or something like that. And again, this is super high level. Josh posted a really good presentation that goes over a lot of the BS in the quantum computing industry. So that's a fantastic read if you want some more academic references for what I'm saying. But yeah, we're a lot further away from general quantum computing than I think a lot of people are led to believe based on the way that they're marketed.
I really like the term that I see people in cryptography using. Instead of general purpose quantum computers, they talk about a CRQC, so a cryptographically relevant quantum computer. So basically, a quantum computer that's good enough to do interesting cryptography. And that's the one that we don't have. And I like that sort of as the benchmark.
We are a ways away from that.
Yeah. And that, all of the others are, all the stuff we've done so far are absolutely awesome physics experiments, for sure. But, they haven't broken any real cryptography yet.
We got a question from Discord, more technical in nature, which fits the narrative here. On Hemi mainnet, Bitcoin kit 0x7007 ellipses 8F12 returns an advancing latest header from get last header, but get header N reverts with failed to retrieve specified Bitcoin header for the latest and many historical heights through both Hemi's official RPC and DRPC. Is this a known incident, or has the recommended Bitcoin kit address interface changed?
So no, that is the correct Bitcoin kit address. There's a known bug with the precompile for getting a header by number, and we can't fix it until we do a network upgrade, and so it's going to be part of the next network upgrade to fix it. So the same Bitcoin kit will still work, for that function when we fix it, but it's not something that we can patch without doing a network-wide bug fix for that. So yeah, unfortunately that precompile does not work properly, but that will be fixed in the next protocol upgrade, along with some other precompiles that we're adding too.
Oh, wow. That's wild. This is completely unrelated, but John will enjoy this. John, today is the 49th anniversary of Suspiria.
49? Jeez.
That's wild. It looks like this is the end of questions we have. If you have further questions, we are over time right now, and thank you all for joining us. Please ask in the gaming channel right on Discord, especially if it's gaming related, about the contest closing tomorrow. So just a reminder, contest does close tomorrow, so get those games in today, everyone. You can catch us live tomorrow at 4 p.m. EDT for the the Hemi Arcade Happy Hour, where we'll be playing games and handing out prizes and doing all that good stuff. And then we'll be back on Tuesday at 11 a.m. for more Midweek with Max. Not Midnight with Max, as I called it earlier, because I don't know, I
Apparently
hit my head.
Nobody
What the
wants
hell?
that.
Yeah. Jesus. I'm losing it, guys. Anyway, yeah, that's oh yeah, and yeah, play Hair Games. Hair Games season 7 is still going on. So get in there, get some cool prizes, and yeah, just have fun with the community. So join the Discord, get the builder role, get the beta tester role, get some creative roles, do some cool shit. And I'll turn it over to Max, John, and Joshua for outros, and I'll shut the hell up now.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining us, and looking forward to doing the why do I always forget Hemi Arcade happy? We're calling it a happy hour, right? I don't know why that confused me.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
definitely a happy hour.
Yes.
John was very, very, very adamant about that.
Perfect.
Yeah, I
Okay. Yep. So definitely join us tomorrow for that at 4 p.m. Eastern. I do know how to use a calendar, and looking forward to seeing everyone's submissions and chatting through some of the game design, some of the blockchain pieces of that, and maybe playing a game of chess against Chess Blunders Pro and probably losing. So join us for that, and we will also see you next week with the regular Midweek with Max.
All right. Take care, everyone.